Section 193 of Childhood's Favourites and Fairy Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Childhood's Favourites and Fairy Stories by various authors. Section 193. In Search of a Baby by F. Tapsell. Please, I'm lost. These words, and a thump-thump on the door, were what Mrs. Stone heard as she sat at supper in a tiny house in the wood. She went to open the door, and there she saw a dear little girl about 3 years old. Please, I'm lost. Again came the words, and 2 fat little fists went up to a pair of big blue eyes. Come in, little girl, and tell me all about it, said the woman. Maybe I can help you to find your way. The child let herself be led into the room. Then all at once the 2 tiny fists came down from the 2 blue eyes, and she gave a quick look at the table. Are you having supper? She said. May I have supper too? I'm ever so hungry. Yes, dear, of course you shall have some, was the reply. See, you shall sit on this chair by my side. Now, what will you have? I think I would like some bread and butter with sugar on it, brown sugar, you know. And soon the little girl was as happy as could be. What is your name, dear? asked Mrs. Stone, when supper was over and the little girl had begun to think once more about how she was to find her way home. Meg, was the reply. But your other name, for you must have 2 names. No, my name is just Meg, of course. I don't have any other name, she said, a look of wonder in the big blue eyes. Do you know where you live? Yes, I lives in the nursery. Didn't you know that? She was so sure that it did not seem any good to say any more about it. So Mrs. Stone only asked, Where were you going when you came to my house? To find a baby, was the reply. Rob said that if I went to a house in the wood, they would give me one. Have you got a baby to give me? No, dear, I am afraid I have not. But why do you want a baby? I'm sure you have lots of dolls. Yes, of course I have. But then, you see, dolls are not alive. I want a real baby to play with. Enid won't play with me much now, for she says I am too small, and Rob is at school all the time. Why, who is that? said a voice, and a man came in with a bag of tools. Then the 2 little fists again went up to the blue eyes, for the little maid was shy of this great big man. Well, wife, so you have a friend, I see, he said. Who is the little lass? I don't know, said his wife. It seems she was lost, and came here to ask her way. She says she came to find a baby. Come here, little one, and don't be afraid, said the man. There never was a child yet who would not come to me. And as he spoke, he drew her onto his knee. Now then, tell me all about it. After one glance at the man's kind face, Meg nestled up to him and began. Nurse was so busy she could not be in the room with me. So I put on my hat and came to look for a baby, but I got lost on the way. At last I came to the wood and saw this house. She could not give me a baby as Rob said she would, but she gave me some tea and bread and butter with sugar on it. We only have that on Sunday at home. Is this Sunday? No, little miss, said the man. But I expect you had it just for a treat, as you had got lost. But just then steps were heard on the path, and there was a sharp knock on the door. The latch was lifted, and a voice said, Have you seen a little girl in a white frock pass this way? Why, that must be Nurse, cried Meg. In spite of being cross at Meg's having run away, Nurse had to laugh. Then she bent down and said, But what made you run away like this, Miss Meg? Rob told me that if I came to the house in the wood, I should find a real live baby. But he was wrong, for she, with a smile at Mrs. Stone, is very nice, but she has not got a baby to give me. Of course not, child. But do you know, I have some news for you. What is it? Do tell me, cried the little girl. While you were away in the wood to look for a baby, we have found the baby at home. You have a new baby brother. Come home with me now, and you shall see him. A new little brother, said Meg, her eyes wide open with wonder. He must have known I'd gone out to look for one. So now I have got two new friends, and a baby too. Come along quick." "Goodbye," she said to her new friends. "Thank you ever so much for being so kind, and for the supper. I am coming to have supper with you again soon, and then I will bring the new baby with me. You will give me and baby bread and butter with sugar on it, won't you?" And Meg trotted off, as happy as a little queen. End of section 193. In Search of a Baby. Recording by Ross Clement.